I'm pretty sure Zach Charbonnet is the love child of Pete Carroll because he's glistening. He's going nuts over him in press conferences. He's continuously doing that this week. He is just going over the moon on Zach Charbonnet. We're going to have to go over the recent press conference from yesterday, going over Pete Carroll, going over those kind, sweet nothings that he's talking to the media about. He likes to talk up his players, but over the running back position, over the history of time with Pete Carroll, when you look at an RB2 on their team, he's never really talked them up like this. And I understand Zach Charbonnet is a nice dude and all. We liked him coming out of the draft. But still, Pete Carroll has some things for him. But what you need to do right now is click that subscribe button. Make sure you stop missing out on this content. Helping you find those players off the waiver wire. Helping you set those lineups in fantasy football. Helping you get the news you need to make those decisions with your fantasy team. Click that button. Stop missing out. Let's look into these running backs here today. Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker. We got a dichotomy here that's strengthening, and Kenneth Walker's dealing with a calf issue. We've talked about this for like the last week or so in depth. And Zach Charbonnet, we just keep getting this new little bits of news that is very impactful, that's increasing his stock as we get deeper into the week, as we got deeper into last week, and we got to go over it. And he is running in the practices. Kenneth Walker has been limited due to the calf. We've talked about calf injuries. Walker played last week. He gave up a few snaps to Zach Charbonnet, but he still played. But think about calf injuries. You can re-injure those. Those are tricky over time. Maybe they should have let him sit out last week and let Charbonnet get some run. Who knows? But Kenneth Walker is going to be on the field on Sunday, so it's not about him not getting the playing time. It's about whether or not if that calf's going to hold up or what's going to happen. Pete Carroll is loving him some Zach Charbonnet, and he's mentioning that in one of his most recent press conferences, and we're going to listen to that right now, and then we're going to talk about it, because it is very interesting.
What have you seen lately out of Charbonnet, and what are you kind of expecting from him the next couple of weeks?
Well, the first thing I say is not having him the week before was really obvious to me. You know, then because we've already started to lean on his style and what he adds and how he complements what Kenny does and what we do in the running game. So to get him back it felt great. And the first guy I went to today, how you doing? How do you feel coming out of the week? You know, and all that. And he feels great. So we got him again this week, and that's a real positive because he's such an all-around player. He can do everything. You know, he can run, and he can catch, and he can block, and he's a good special teams guy. He does everything really well. So. He's doing great.
So one thing I want to note, he's not going to really hammer him in a press conference. He's going to be positive. That's one thing he's going to say. But over time, when you think about Pete Carroll, you think about the Christine Michael situation back in the day with Marshawn Lynch, and we were just waiting for Christine Michael to get his opportunity and felt like it never happened. And the reason why, and you can obviously see by reading the tea leaves here, is he likes his running backs to be dependable. He likes it when you put your running backs out there. You know what they're going to do. They're going to pass block. They're going to run the play. That's what you're seeing with Zach Charbonnet. He feels good about him. He likes him out there. And then looking at Zach Charbonnet's draft profile, good in the passing game, good pass blocker, bigger running back, can carry it between the tackles. Different running back from Kenneth Walker, does not have that home run hitting speed. So you also got a different dynamic. So as long as Charbonnet is doing some things on the field, Pete Carroll's going to like that, and he's going to say good things in the media about him. So that's obviously why he's saying good things about him. Obviously, he's going to like his second-round running back if he's already on the field doing some things. We haven't seen them draft a running back this high and really throw him into the fire like this until Kenneth Walker last year and Charbonnet this year. So that's something we're looking at here. And then when we look at the snaps with these players, last week, Zach Charbonnet got the touches due to that calf injury. It wasn't because Pete Carroll likes him better. However, he did mention that Charbonnet was looking good in drives. They kept him out there. That makes sense. You've seen that before the teams you played with. The hot hand was playing good or that running back was doing okay. They kept him out there for the rest of the series. They didn't interchange him out. And that's probably what we're going to see here. We might see Charbonnet get some more work here in the back half of the season if both these guys are healthy. Maybe a 60-40 split. I don't see Kenneth Walker giving up the job. He's just too explosive. He's a home run threat. He's got too good a vision. He moves laterally too well. He's the guy you want in this backfield for fantasy. But Charbonnet has some goods. I wouldn't be surprised if both these running backs can be productive in fantasy over time. Let's go back to Pete Carroll. Let's go back to what he said earlier in the week about Zach Charbonnet, if you haven't heard that yet.
Is there anything to going to Zach and then the fourth quarter over Ken over DJ?
No, it's just kind of, he had a lot of opportunities. We just want to make sure that he played and got a chance to contribute. And when he did well, we stayed with it. We didn't feel like we needed to roll him out of there. He looked very good at the end of the game. He blocking in and running the football. So we're very fortunate to have both those guys going at it right now and just keep it going.
What makes Zach Charbonnet so efficient in his play and execution of it?
Why?
Yeah.
He gets it, the game comes easy to him. He understands. He's really disciplined. Very accountable kid. I mean, when you tell him something, he does it as close to exactly the way you tell him, and he's able to adapt in the flow of things and come up with the right choices and decisions to make things work out. It's hard for a young guy to do the blitz pickup and the pass protection stuff. He hasn't had a problem with it at all, and he's physical enough to take care of it. So he just offers us kind of a full-bodied guy. He can do it. He can run. He can catch it. He can block, and he's been very effective on special teams as well. He's done a nice job on the punt team and does some really good things for us. So he's an all-around player that we really trust, and he's given us all the reason to do that.
So one thing I want to note, we want to think about what he was like coming out of college. He could have came out during the 2022 NFL draft and been a similar draft pick. Could have got decent draft capital, maybe third round, fourth round. Had an all right career at UCLA and Michigan altogether when you look at his full body of work. And the thing is, he stayed an extra year at college because he wanted to develop. He wanted to get better in the passing game. He wanted to get better as a pass blocker. He wanted to catch more balls out of the backfield. He is a hard worker. He's a guy that is going to get better. He is a guy that is going to make sure the fine-tuned stuff he's good at. And then when you look at him, he is kind of the complete package. He can run it between the tackles, catch the ball in the backfield, okay, and blitz pickup. The thing about him, he doesn't have home run hitting speed. He's not like a Kenneth Walker, but he is, like I said earlier, a different dynamic. Pete Carroll's noticing that. He's a guy you can slide into your offense, and he can hold it down for a little bit. That's what he is, and he can give you a little bit more because he is a good running back. Him and Kenneth Walker, they're just two different backs, and you know what? I would love to have both of them on my team. Those are two damn good running backs. Seattle Seahawks eventually are going to have one of the best backfields in the entire NFL. Looking at Kenneth Walker, remember, he's no slouch. We're talking about Zach Charbonnet. He's no slouch. He's a very good running back. I don't want to keep talking about Zach Charbonnet and then for some reason you forget about Kenneth Walker. Very good running back prospect. Very good at fantasy football. Very good at Michigan State. Has intangibles. Has good vision. Very explosive. Remember, he's got that 4.38 speed. He's a home run hitter. And he can crack it at the point of contact. Very physical as well. They got two physical runners, which is tough to compete with. Zach Charbonnet as well. A little bit slower, a little bit thicker. 214 at the combine. But overall, during college, he was weighing in like the 220-pound range. So imagine he got a little thinner, dropped some weight for those numbers. But still, a guy who has a different skill set between the tackles, more of a hammer, more of a grinder, but can still catch the ball in the backfield. A little bit better in the passing game when it comes to receiving because he worked on that. He showcased that in college, but does not have as much explosiveness, does not have that home run hitting speed, but still good enough to get the job done. When we look at Zach Charbonnet, like I've said, all week long, all last week, it's him versus Kenneth Walker's Calf. But I think he's going to start getting more touches throughout the year. How much, we don't know. But over time, maybe 2024, 2025, I think you're going to have two good running backs here in Seattle. I think both of them are going to be fantasy relevant to an extent. I think they're going to have one of the best backfields in the NFL if they don't already, but I think it's really going to develop going forward. You also have Kenny McIntosh there. You got a three-headed monster, and it's going to emerge soon. It definitely is. You have three very talented running backs who do different things and can do things at a high level. I'm excited to see McIntosh get fired in there. I'm excited to see what Charbonnet can do with more touches. And I like Kenneth Walker. We did some film studies on him when he was back at Michigan State. He can really lay the hammer down. He's elusive, good vision, and explosive. This is going to be a fun backfield to watch. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Stop missing out on these deep dives. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.